Welcome to another episode of The Plant Healer's Path. In this work of healing bodies and bettering the world, there are certain qualities and propensities that tend to make us more effective at what we do. Things such as awareness, observation skills, critical thinking. But of these, most significant may be a quality for which all of humankind seems naturally endowed: curiosity. That exciting urge to uncover and discover. Curiosity is something that starts when we're kids, and it's children that often best embody this crucial characteristic. Being as kids are, constantly curious, constantly drawn to the unrecognized and the unknown, enthusiastically exploring the new and the untested, delighted with exposing a world outside of the assumptions and the conveniences and the conventions of parents and teachers and authority figures. Kids tend to run in the direction of oddity and surprise, and unless something scares them, they'll usually linger to examine each new thing carefully, pondering every imaginable possibility. Similarly, the best healers, just like the best artists, the best scientists, and even the best lovers, remain under the spell of qualities that you have been endowed with since you were toddlers, crawling on the ground, hanging upside down just to try out new perspectives, turning over every leaf to see what lies on the other side. Curiosity is a predilection that helps to increase understanding and aid us in personal decision-making. It does it by stimulating interest, increasing excitement and engagement, awakening our passions, and triggering experimentation and ever more creative applications. So then, you might ask, what part does curiosity play for herbalists, healers, and the co-creators of a better, healthier world? Well, that's simple. Without our relentless, unflagging curiosity, we could easily slip into thinking that we already know what we need about some plant or condition, and thereby miss out on as yet unknown or perhaps even undiscovered actions and uses. Familiarity with a particular pattern is great, but it can also blind us to exceptions and anomalies, and result in us failing to take into account the different ways that illness can present in different people at different times. Some long accepted facts can just be outright wrong, or at least not universally applicable. And yet, there's a tendency to continue acting as if traditional maxims are reality until curiosity drives us to explore and challenge them. We might accept biased interpretations of what was otherwise credible research if we don't wonder what the hell might be mistaken, omitted, or slanted so as to make a particular case. We'll likely fail to notice how an herbal formula could be custom tweaked to account for the different constitutions of the various people we're trying to help, unless we hang on to curiosity. The moment it's taken over by protocol, we minimize our options, minimize and lessen the possibilities for healing. If we ever get bored and wish we were doing something else besides our herbalism, our art, our activism, let me tell you, it won't be because our work is any the less significant. It'll be because we have ceased to be fascinated. There's no surer way to take the life and the spirit out of the healer's mission than to grow up and lose one's curiosity to what are basically sober and often ill-informed adult certainties. Curiosity is the sparkling excitement and the bright hope illuminating our work, that essential work of healing ourselves, each other, our communities, the society at large, and the precious natural world that we are necessarily and irrevocably embedded within. It can be helpful to be aware of the many, many obstacles and challenges that stand in the way of our curiosity. Challenges like a fear of the unknown, a fear of discoveries and realizations that might disrupt or discomfort. Clinging to what we know rather than risking being wrong and thereby turning to what is yet to be revealed to us. A fear of the responsibility to integrate and implement and make use of the things that we realize or discover. Be aware. Be aware of your attachments to belief systems and dogma. Be aware of making the mistake of assuming instead of wondering, of hyper-focusing to the exclusion of peripheral patterns and unplanned effects. And watch out. Watch out for your thought processes rigidifying over time. Watch out for your ever taking new discoveries for granted. Watch out for getting burned out, which, suffering that numbing of interest that's brought about by shit like exhaustion or spending too much time at rote tasks and too little time with the plants. The way to treat or overcome such obstacles is a veritable voyage of exploration that takes us beyond accepted maps and templates into the netherworlds of fresh discovery and realization, made possible through the opportune tripping, fueling, and enhancing of our curious natures. The medicine we need to be better as medicine makers, it's the opening, the reopening, should I say, of our minds and our hearts to the unforeseen, the unexpected, the warp and the weft of interconnection, where each newly identified thread is seen by us as a pulsing tendril leading to other entwinings, interrelationships, awakenings, and revelations. And just as there's obstacles and challenges to our native curiosity, there's also some definite aids and encouragements. First, I recommend recognizing the value of what is yet to be revealed, recognizing the value of the personal pleasures of discovery. I recommend intentionally seeking out and delving into the unknown and the unfamiliar at every opportunity, to being open to the unfamiliar that lies in that which you already do know. I suggest opening up to your emotional as well as your intellectual assessments and responses. I suggest replacing belief with ever adaptable, ever evolving understandings. You'd be wise to have some fun exposing, illuminating, or redefining the assumptions and the beliefs of every entrenched system. Wise to embrace the discomfort of having your own treasured beliefs and assumptions augmented or flat out overturned as needed. And frankly, you'd be wise to reject all rigid dogma. I recommend that you give free rein to your many interests, exploring whatever attracts you, not just about plants and healing, but threads in every direction, because they'll all bring you back to the core of what you're most interested in. I recommend you watch for the unexpected rather than assuming the expected. I suggest you explore that which others might dismiss as unappealing or social pressure instead of your personal interest. Follow a chain of events from one to another while trying to understand their relationships. Take the time, all the time necessary to be explorative, spontaneous, and entertained. And especially, find creative ways to utilize and enjoy all that your searchings and discoveries reveal. If your life, your herbal practice, your methods, your activities, your surroundings, if any of that ever starts to feel rote, predictable, boring, or, as they say, old hat, then I suggest that you get yourself a new damn hat, or else modify or repurpose the one you're already wearing. Like those children that I mentioned earlier, twist around or hang upside down until you can see things from a new angle. Allow yourself to delight in alteration, experimentation, customization, and personalization. Indeed, let there be no herbal leaf unturned. Our eyes and minds open to the possibility of not only different colors and tones, to realizations about the actions or uses of a plant, but rather to whatever unimagined visage or knowing might be exposed there, to the chance that, like even a tiny flower fairy might be nested beneath its protective leaf green, or that a magical botanical scent might be released with that fateful turning of the plant. And in the span of some tiny creature's little heartbeat, redirect us to the enchantments of discovery and our delight in the as yet not known. It's very helpful if we always approach things as if we're still beginners. And that's no matter how many books that we've ever read, or in my case, how many books I've ever written, how many clients we might have helped, or how often something that we think has been judged to be correct in the past, because it might not be correct anymore. Look to each person or situation or place that you ever seek to help as if there are things still to be learned about them, things to learn about the person or the situation or the place that you didn't know before. And pay attention. Pay attention to deviations to the norm and the rule. Be prepared for surprises. Allow yourself to be as thrilled by even the seemingly minuscule, the mundane, or the inconsequential. Be excited by, just as excited by every discovery as you were when you first were excited by the stories of miraculous bodily healings, the stories of the curious smells of roots and flowers, by the clear summoning of imploring nature and its medicinal herbs. Our recovery, our redemption, our pleasure and satisfaction are all served by the same enlivened and unleashed curiosity that also propels the development of greater understanding and, indeed, effectuality. We constantly improve as we are constantly entertained and enriched whenever we unleash our latent curiosities and follow them around the bend, through the concealing forest, or even down the scarcely marked track, certain that there's always something else for us to uncover, to plumb, to hear, to understand, to realize, and to actualize. Join me, eager and agog, attentive and playful, keen as you can be, gladly thirsting, aroused and hungering, as fascinated as an ancient seer or a young child, fascinated with the uncovering of everything's real natures, its nuances, fascinated by the endless shades and shifting colors and morphing forms, and by causes and consequences again. Let us be drawn outside of our existing knowledge base by some uncategorizable music and the flapping of unseen wings just beyond what is visible to us. As possessed as we can possibly be by the enchantments of discovery and possibility once more.